Today, ArenaNet took the wraps off the final 3 Elite Specializations coming to Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity, so let's dive in and check them out. We start off with Evoker, which was more or less revealed earlier, just without much in the way of detail. Evoker channels Norn spirits of the wild, but just the cute little ones. Each element is associated with a spirit. Fire is fox, water is otter, air is hare, and earth is toad. Something I've wanted for Ellie for a long time now is the ability to actually specialize in a specific element. Evokers do this by setting an attunement animal friend on their F5 skill, which reduces cooldown, grants bonuses, and affects available traits. Like a lot of the newly announced specs, each elemental forest friend gets a primary and a secondary function out of their profession skills. The secondary skill is charged up by using weapon skills, with extra empowerment given for matching elemental weapon skills with a selected elemental critter. You got all that? The blog post mostly provided details about Fox, which gets a fire projectile called Ignite, with the empowerment skill being a leaping strike at the enemy called Conflagration. Listen, I'm a warrior main, okay? Next we have Amalgam, the new liquid metal spec for Engineer. Amalgams use an Asura-discovered mercurial ooze which forms a symbolic bond with its wielder, granting abilities to their Engineer. Amalgams can select which morph skills they want to get when melding with their slime, which replaces their utility skills. These give your Quicksilver the ability to transform into a sword, a shield, or defensive spikes. The focus definitely seems to be on giving Amalgam lots of flexibility in combat, and I think using a literal morphing slime is a cool way of doing that. The Amalgam elite skill is called Evolve, which combines the Engineer and the slime into one being, changing forms that behave like stances. These allow the player to enter a hard defensive stance or melt down into a puddle. Oh, wrong clip. There we go. The mercurial skills selected will also influence what happens when you use your Evolve skill. The different combinations and their resulting outputs are called strains, adding an additional layer of build crafting to Amalgams. And finally, the new Revenant spec, Conduit. Conduit adds a new legend, Raza, a somewhat ethereal being formed in the mist itself, making this rev spec extra Revenant. As far as we know, Raza is still alive too, making them the first living Revenant legend. Keeping with the theme, Raza grants the users lots of flexibility, which aligns with the multifaceted nature of their character. While Raza as a character can transform into other professions, Raza as a legend can tap into other legends through an ability called Cosmic Wisdom. For example, channeling Shiro will grant Form of the Assassin, granting super speed and inflicting condition damage. The player can't stay in Cosmic Wisdom forever, though, but channeling other legends charges a new resource called Affinity, which builds up as you use skills that consume energy. Affinity extends the duration of Cosmic Wisdom, giving the player a balancing act that kind of feels like an extension of the original energy system. Raza also gets a legendary entity stance, providing abilities apparently picked up over the years as they wandered Tyria. The abilities also get, you guessed it, secondary effects, called a resonance, and those change slightly based on your other equipped legend. For example, Raza has a targeted Shadow Step that also deals damage, but if paired with Shiro, then it becomes a ground targeted Shadow Step with AoE damage. So, now that we've seen all 9 Elite Specializations coming to Visions of Eternity, what do you think? I think some of these look really interesting, and personally, I'm really looking forward to trying Antiquary, Evoker, and Troubadour. In fact, we'll be able to try all of the new specs through the open beta from August 20th through 27th. And don't forget to check out the official Guild Wars 2 Twitch channel this Friday for a closer look at these 3. Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity comes out October 28th, and if you're thinking about pre-ordering it, you can use my link in the description below. It doesn't cost anything extra, and it helps support this channel. Either way, thanks for hanging out and watching, and I'll see you in the next one.